Do you feel like there's more to life than just getting through each day? Imagine spending the afternoon with other people who share your insatiable curiosity, exploring the depths of your own identity. This is more than just a meeting. It's an invitation to uncover your latent potential. We will peel back the layers of monotony together and reveal the incredible realities that have been patiently waiting for you. Are you prepared to embark on a path of self-discovery that will bring you to your innermost wealth? The most of us appear to be planning to spend the afternoon together. Some of you might get sick of it and want to escape to somewhere more exciting, like the beach or the nearby expo, if this place doesn't get enough stimulation. While some may seek enlightenment, the majority of you will likely remain grounded in your primordial instincts. Assuming what I sometimes refer to as the new consciousness has already emerged in you, you might find it enjoyable to sit here and listen to a man chatting for an entire afternoon with a little break. How on earth could something so bizarre be intriguing? You must be hearing something really crucial from him to keep you here, and you would be right. Naturally, though, you must have an inner voice that acknowledges the speaker's insignificance on comparison to what is inside you. Therefore, you must possess that recognition within yourself. It is unrelated to the amount of spiritual understanding, academic credentials, or degrees you may have. That sort of cognitive ability is completely irrelevant. While the majority of the world's population still lacks this second human ability, an increasing number of people are beginning to experience its awakening. I refer to this ability as the aspect of consciousness distinct from the common, everyday kind that permeates our world. Thus, that constitutes a spiritual awakening. It signifies the subsequent stage of human development. No, our species is far from finished evolving. Rather, we are constantly improving ourselves. It's still in progress. To think of people in their current state as a finished good is dreadful. Because of their erroneous assumptions about God and humanity, some people ask, how could God permit all this to happen? Two misconceptions underpin this. First, that God created humanity as an end result long ago. And second, that God is a patriarchal figure who either exerts absolute control over everything from on high or has simply lost interest and moved on, maybe to another planet, after realizing he failed miserably. This afternoon, then, has a dual purpose. Words and thoughts are essential on one level. More significantly, though, the reason we are all here is to discuss the thing that the words and ideas behind them allude to. Our goal for the afternoon is to help you either become more aware of, or, for many of you, strengthen your connection to your true identity, which is what these things are pointing to. When I say truly, I imply on a level beyond your own past and into the very core of who you are. Beyond their individual identities, most people have a level of consciousness that extends well beyond their personality. So they're stuck on the surface level of reality, which isn't exactly a happy place. In this state, you are essentially confined to your conditioned personality, your egoic self, and you have an innate sense that something is amiss. You have this innate sense that something crucial is lacking from my life right now. It's not the same for everyone, but there is something wrong, and everyone has their own mental interpretation of what that is. Some may argue that the fact that not every human being shares our religious beliefs is fundamentally flawed. We need to either murder them or convert them because something is seriously wrong. Some people think society is fundamentally flawed. This is an external perspective, of course. The question is, what really is society? And why is it flawed in every way? It's everyone's contribution. I am unhappy because my personal past is terribly flawed. For some reason, my life has been beset with a string of unfortunate events. There shouldn't be so many unhappy marriages and divorces, and I wish things would turn out differently. Before they were okay, there was the sickness, and after that, they accomplished a lot. On the flip side, there's an element that's pining for the next thing, be it material goods, social approval, or a sense of belonging to fill the void. Inevitably, something is lacking. They blame other people or themselves for not having it. but they have no idea what's lacking or where to look. If you feel unfulfilled, you can point the finger at specific individuals or groups. This is rather typical in today's society, and it feeds into the false sense of self by allowing people to identify with being victims, whether it be on an individual or societal basis. Providing satisfaction while simultaneously failing to do so. It's paradoxical. When you're miserable, you enjoy it more. Feel happier when you can gripe about other people more. The ego perceives it as superior, and you're experiencing its negative effects right now. Know that you have a better grasp on who you are. You may reinforce your sense of self by focusing on your victim identity or by highlighting your victorious identity in the world. In most cases, the ego doesn't care which one is more powerful or more naive. People often think of someone with an inflated feeling of self-importance when they hear the word ego. One manifestation of ego is the belief that one is superior to others. But there's also a powerful side to ego, and that is the idea that people see themselves as more victimized than other people. Yeah, that's also functional. Therefore, you are free to utilize whichever is most suitable for your needs. In the end, it's all in one's head, although people utilize all sorts of things to help them feel more like themselves. In the end, it's all about the way your mind is structured, which is what I mean when I say that you're stuck at the personality level. One alternative is to say that you are ensnared at the level of form, which includes your physical and mental characteristics, as well as your story, personal history, and all the conditioning, viewpoints, and convictions that shape your interpretation of events based on your personality. Then you take a look around and see things that you can relate to, and people and events that you perceive as mediating ramblings start to make sense, and you start to believe it all. You fail to recognize that your conditioned mind is a veil through which you perceive reality. In fact, all you perceive is the conditioning's vein. You can't make out anything behind it, but it's there. So it's a normal, thankful state to be in. Reason enough for me to occasionally claim that normal mad. Plus, this isn't even a basic inquiry. Your life's central question, who am I, relates to your sense of identity. Because it's cool, you don't know who you really are, but you know it's vital. Discovering one's essence should not be the first and foremost lesson taught to youngsters. No one ever said it should be. Is one's identity a topic? It is neat. It is new to me. I will never see it again. Therefore, things outside of yourself determine your form identity. If it's suitable, you highlight the parts of your form identity where you're slightly better than other people when you compare yourself to others. The ego enters the picture at that point and creates an illusion. It may have anything to do with your family tree. Coming from a family that has roots in the old world, at least in part in Europe and other more traditional civilizations, makes you reflect on your own family history. There is a lengthy line of people who came before you in your family tree, and they all hold greater significance than the average citizen. You are uniquely you because you are descended from a lengthy line of ancestors. A championship might be yours as well. They retain their titles in certain nations. As you mature, people start calling you Lady So-and-so, or telling your 10-year-old daughter that you're famous. Now, if you find yourself stuck in that, it's not easy to escape. A sense of uniqueness has been bestowed upon you, and you are well aware that your lineage constitutes the bedrock of your identity. You may be unaware that you are ensnared in a false sense of self until it's too late, and it can hold you captive until your deathbed. Now, while some people might have that, the majority of people don't. A member of this family may hold more positions than others, or they may have accomplished a great deal in a short period of time after starting from scratch. Afterwards, individuals start to see themselves as defined by their monetary success and other material goods, which can provide a temporary high but ultimately fails to fulfill. Well, that's the rub. Some crucial component is always missing, which adds an air of unhappiness. Even with an aristocratic title, Lady Diana being an example. Going back, she was dissatisfied because her title and ancestry, which extends hundreds of years, did not complete her. So it's natural to have that identity, but you feel completely ensnared by it, and the sadness lingers in the background. Plus, you could naturally have a more attractive physique than most people. Then you can feel superior to other people since you'll be able to concentrate on it. And for the time being, that's a good thing. After a while, you'll look in the mirror and notice that you've changed. Or, put another way, that stunning physique has grown. Just the other day, I witnessed people strolling down the harbor front in Sydney on a gorgeous sunny morning, which was delightful. Not too hot, but cooler than what we're experiencing here. A man was making his way past the throngs of people, perhaps without a shirt on. This man must have been scorching in this weather to feel the need to remove his shirt. But it was also a strange coincidence that he had the most incredible physique, very masculine, impressive, and many other things. And that many people stared at him, while others avoided looking. It was clear that he found great joy in passing through that area. He was fortunate to have to remove his shirt because he felt really hot. Of all, there were other egos and identities out there who felt devalued just by gazing at him as they walked by. The ego felt diminished, which is normal, and then, without making an effort to meet his gaze, turned away. For this reason, constantly comparing oneself to others is a natural part of having an inflated ego. Every once in a while, the ego will try to make up for it. Somehow, you'll need to organize your identity. "Well, it's just a few thoughts," he says, in an effort to bolster his ego and make up for the fall. And it's all thoughtlessness, really. To illustrate the point, imagine this. "Oh, look at that beach bum there. I bet all he does is hang around the beach every day and surf. Not a thought in his head." Sure, it'll lift your spirits temporarily. When you're in your fancy car, you could feel superior to other people. Some people turn their heads, but a guy on a bike could be hiding there. He looks at your fancy car and thinks, "Behold this materialist." In contrast, I am wholly unattached to such things. I find immense joy riding my bike because I am free from their clutches. There's a spiritual ego there, but it's mild. Being more spiritual than other people can make you feel better about yourself, but that's just another mind-made identity. Amazing. Furthermore, many individuals bring a really unpleasant or mostly dissatisfied, grumbling, inadequate personality with them, and we attribute that to them. Such a horrible person. And no one has ever told them that this is not who they are. That is how your mind gets conditioned, and those are the feelings that come along with it. Therefore, you should ask yourself, well, if I'm not that, who am I? Since it is the most crucial question you can pose to yourself. Because obviously you are your past and who you are as a person. Our mainstream culture will tell you that question makes no sense at all. Nothing else exists, they say. That which is beyond your personality has already awakened, which is what drew you here. This is about something far larger than yourself. And I think it's important that you know this because you're here. Something that goes beyond one's personality, a level of awareness within oneself that is deeper or higher, depending on one's preference, than one's personality itself. Then your personality's bedrock, a never-ending stream of thoughts, has already woken within you and led you to this point. What has led you to this point, though, is the fact that human awareness is developing, so it's not just about you. You have been summoned here by the expanding human awareness to further the awakening process. Some may not have arrived voluntarily, however, there may be an exception or two. Someone brought them here and they unwillingly said, "Okay, I'll go along and listen to this guy for 4 hours." Oh my God. However, when you asked them what he was talking about, they said, "What on earth? It just makes no sense whatsoever." This individual, who may or may not be fictitious, is perceiving the words, and we can't change that. Maybe he or she is hearing the words, but they get lost in thought, which is why they end up mired in mental chaos. You take in the words, but you don't have any internal recognition of their meaning. Worst case scenario, they become lost in your mental chaos, rendering them useless. Therefore, a small gap must be created in the mental river. A small hole, a fissure, must be present. There are the majority of you. Someone who is already more than that, creates the space for words to enter, and the object of those words is eventually identified. When I say things like, beyond the personality and your personal history, there is a deeper essence of who you are. You could feel a moment of internal validation that what I'm saying is true. As we conclude this enlightening journey, remember that your path to self-discovery continues. By liking this video and subscribing to our channel, you're taking a significant step toward awakening your inner self and enhancing your ability to live fully in the now. Together, we can cultivate a community devoted to embracing the profound insights that lie within each of us. Until next time, keep seeking the extraordinary and cherish the present moment.